Hey there guys, it's Lance with CinematicGalaxy here, and today I'm here to review Haywire, which is an action film that was released earlier this year. Haywire stars former MMA fighter Gina Carano, along with many other A-listers like Ewan McGregor, Antonio Banderas, Michael Douglass, and Channing Tatum. The film's also directed by Steven Soderbergh, who did films like Ocean's 11, which is the only film other than this one of his that I've seen. He directed a little part of The Hunger Games that I thought was one of the best parts of the film. And also, he's done films like Traffic and just different films like that. Gina Carano plays Mallory Kane, who is a Marine, and basically her organization turns against her and is trying to frame her for a bunch of murders and stuff. And throughout this film, she's trying to figure out why, while clearing her name and surviving. Yeah, that's pretty much how you sum up the premise of this film. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's kind of similar to The Bourne, but not really. You know, there's some elements that are missing that Bourne had. Now, Haywire received pretty positive reviews from critics, but a lot of the general audience who saw this film, I think, was kind of mixed. You know, a lot of them hated it, a lot of them were very underwhelmed, and some people came away loving it. I'm personally one of the latter. I really, really loved Haywire. I thought it was a very good film. Sure, the story is something that we've seen before, but it's a formula that can work when you just take it and run with it, and I think it works here. And the reason why it works here is not so much the plot itself, it's the execution. I think the execution is fantastic. And when I talk about this, that's leading me to a whole bunch of other stuff. First of all, again, I explained the premise. Basically, Gina Carano is her action vehicle. You know, we see there are many fight scenes in this film and chase sequences and whatnot, and all of them were fantastic. I loved every single chase scene, every single fight scene. What's so great about it is that, first of all, it's not flashy. You know, we see so many flashy fights in movies, and those can be great. But, I mean, even the Bourne series, which I thought those fights seemed pretty realistic, those are kind of flashy compared to the Haywire fights. The Haywire fights seem like, you know, if characters are really in these situations and they were trained and whatnot, that's how they would fight. And what helped with Gina Carano, the whole reason Steven Soderbergh wanted her, is that she's an MMA fighter. You know, so she has those skills. So she does all her own stunts in the film, as do the other actors, even though they don't have the skills. But who wouldn't want to be beaten up by Gina Carano? But anyway, yeah, everybody did their own stunts. And since Gina Carano has those fantastic skills, I mean, it all just looks so believable and so real. And you generally believe that she is just beating up these guys. You know, Hollywood has gotten so used to showing people like Angelina Jolie and recently with Colombiana that I haven't seen, Zoe Saldana. They might be attractive and whatnot, and you know, they might even be pretty good actresses, but in terms of just really selling that they're beating the crap out of these big grown, you know, men and stuff, you just really can't believe it because they're so stick skinny. But Gina Carano, she's in great shape, my goodness, and she just, you know, she has the skills. You totally believe that she's beating up these guys, and that's one of the things I really loved about Haywire. And also, like I said, the fights and the chases are not flashy, and there's hardly any music that plays. Actually, music never plays in the fights. It does have some music that plays in the chase scenes, but as far as the fights, it's like you're there in the room watching these going on. What I love about them as well is that there's no shaky camera. Now, again, I love the Bourne movies. Those have plenty of shaky cam. I tolerate it there, but generally I'm not a big fan of shaky cam. And especially in a lot of cases, I think it's just a cheap way out of using really good choreography and whatnot. But one of the things I loved about this film was that no shaky cam was used. You know, it was steady cam, the framing was excellent, and there wasn't a lot of quick cutting either. There really was no quick cutting. And, you know, just we got to see long shots of people fighting and whatnot, and that was fantastic. And I guess the fact that it's not flashy might leave some people feeling bored by Haywire, and I can understand that. But that's one of the things, probably the main thing I loved about this film was that it presented a really good action movie with a lot of these great action scenes, but none of them were flashy. A lot of these action scenes in this film would be like how they would be in real life, I'm assuming. Now we get to the cast. First of all, Gina Carano. You know, she's received, a lot of people think she's great as an action star, But as far as her acting, some people have said, you know, it's fine, and some people have just said her acting is awful. I personally thought she did a very good job, especially considering that she does not have an acting background. This is her first role in this film, and for that, I thought she did very good. Of course, she was very convincing in the action scenes, but I thought that her demeanor and her just the way she carried herself throughout this film was very, very good and great for this role. I totally understand why Soderbergh wanted her for this film, and man, I just have to say she is not bad to look at all. Just wow, that is a woman right there. I could watch her beating up people all day and not be bored. Also, the other cast members, you have big names: Ewan McGregor, Michael Douglas, Channing Tatum, Antonio Banderas, and the thing is, they're not giving Oscar-worthy performances, but they don't need to be Oscar-worthy performances. They're still good, they're still serviceable to the film, and I thought they all worked in the movie. But again, Gina Carano is the star of this movie. Make no mistake of that. I honestly think she could take on Jason Bourne and really give him a run for his money. She might even beat him. I don't know, because again, it's just the punches, the kicks, everything in this movie just felt so real. It looked like she was really beating these guys up. Also, the music in this film is by, I forgot the guy's name, but he did the score for Ocean's 11. The score is very jazzy. Some people say it's not fitting for the film, and at first I kind of felt that way, but I actually really liked the score. I thought that it gave the film a very kind of old school 70s spy movie feel when it was used. And I think that's also another thing I really liked about Haywire, the fact that it knew what kind of film it wanted to be. It felt very stylized. It's definitely a stylized spy film, and the cinematography, which I think is really good. I love the way the color was used in this film. I thought it really just kind of added to that retro tone. There are a few flaws I had with Haywire, though. I think the main one is that the story wasn't bad. I thought the story was fine. The way it moved and everything was good. The pacing was good, but I think that the story was a little too vague by the end of the film. I just wish that, as far as like certain character motivations and whatnot, I wish that they were made a little bit clearer by the end of this film. But that's a very minor flaw, because I still thought that for the type of film that it was, Haywire was great, a really good time. And I haven't seen many movies this year. Honestly, the only film this year I've seen is The Hunger Games. And I'm not sure how to really compare the two because they're so different. But I can say that I think Haywire is probably going to end up being one of my favorite movies of the year. And I'm going to give it an A-. Again, I really like this movie a lot. I can definitely understand why some people don't like it. Some people are going to go into this movie expecting this big budget, all kinds of crazy car chases and stuff. They're going to go into it expecting that, and what they get is going to be something that is much less overblown. And I can definitely understand why some people would be disappointed in this film and not like it. But I just thought it was very nice how realistic it was portrayed. You don't get all those car chases like you get in movies in real life. So anyway, guys, let me know. Have you seen Haywire? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know the reasons for it. I personally would love to see Gina Carano and more action movies in the future. And also, guys, what's your favorite spy movie? I haven't seen all of them, but I think I would have to go with either maybe the entire Bourne trilogy or even the fourth Mission Impossible film. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this review. Take care. And this is Lance from Cinematic Galaxy, signing off.